that, just like pushing. Yeah. Yeah, see Gabby, you see, now the paw comes a little bit, so you see Gabby is, you know, you have the sense it's coming up, it's in, and then it's out here. So here, push your hand. Yeah, Gabby. Yeah. So even as you're standing here, so and Gabby will go here a little bit. Now when Gabby goes, okay, I'll bring Gabby back in. Here again, now Gabby's going to put a point of not liking this a little bit. See that flexor. So the leash flexor is like a little hey you. I'm saying it's ion. A little tension here, so you want to keep Gabby kind of into that. Now push her again. Now you see Gabby here. And I can touch and pet in that state of mind. So if I'm right here like that, I can pet, I can pet your Gabby, but then you want to keep your mind switching back between authority and not too much of a mostly right now. Influence. Yeah, stand up again and feeling through me. See as I'm flexing here. So here, just take a leash here. Yep. Flex a little bit. Yep. That's it. And a little bit of slack each time you do it. Just a little bit of slack. Yep. There you go. And it's again. So you feel it. Now push on Gabby's shoulder blades. So just kind of push a little bit. Just steady like that. Yeah. Press it. Yeah. Yeah. Then you can stand up again. Flex it a little bit. Yeah. Push it a little bit. So what you're saying to Gabby is, I own her. Okay, here it makes her feel better because it purges the mind of this bad energy of her wanting to do her thing. Because it's about being a parent a little bit. That's all this is. It's not aggressive. See, I just use this, but just technique. And so if Gabby's mind starts to separate too much, I'm going to interrupt it a little bit. Okay, but more often, here what you do is cut the mind a little more. Push it. Yeah. Okay, good. Push it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go over and help them too, but you want to practice, you can start to go practice that a little bit, but you're doing good, yeah. That's what you do, or, it doesn't have to be kind of a, very good. That's the whole thing, like sitting here, get the energy, confidence, through you, and so it becomes a positive experience. Even here, Dan, what you just like I was saying about, with kids and stuff, it's really about how you're thinking. You can think about change it, but just try to block it out. So what I do is, it's like when I get to the level where I don't care if the freight train coming behind me. I don't, it's like, because everything is all they pivot off that state of mind so much.
Well, I've noticed in the last week or two, he has settled down quite a bit.
I know that. I mean, this is
from a year ago when we first started doing this, yeah.
Because what happens here, folks, what it is, it's like everyone should have a moment. It's like a breakaway moment. I had that years ago in my career after about 5 years with my police dog, where it took a long time because no one really told me things like, I was like, of course, using choke chains. I started off like everyone else, but I started going beyond that, saying, what is it really about here? What are we really doing? When things go wrong, when things don't make sense, things didn't make sense to me. And I started challenging it on my own because, you know what? I wanted truth. I wanted the answers. I was willing to allow any sort of agenda in my mind or whatever to flow right in here. I just wanted the truth. Like the saying goes, I'd rather be beaten with the truth and tortured with 1,000 lies, right? But it's the truth. I wanted to know. So, but here as you do it, understand, it's the whole thing about understanding it's this connection issue. So getting in tune with how you're thinking here, say, I'm the parent. So everything here, so even as you do it, it's like when you do it, try to keep your psychology aligned. So even here, Sally, don't focus. So if you might look at the other dog, just to see how far the other dog is. Get right back to clarity. I own. Like when you're doing this stuff, empty your mind of. Don't invest in things kind of. No. Things can kind of. Yeah, that's right.
No.
Yeah, and then just flex. Nancy, yep, and then flex, yep, just stand up, flex again, keep flexing. Now, if that happens, the dog gets, like you see Barney, it's fixating and everything. What you want to do is sometimes you might need to turn. You might want to turn and just get the visuals off the other dog. But that is strength. Right there, now, this is a good little thing. I'll show you this. This is great. showing the lady this the other day. What you want to do if your dog is really wanting other dogs and acts, freaks out a little bit, you want to turn around so that the dog now has to totally turn if they want it. And it allows me to see a little better what's going on. Right? So for example, if the dog's really, and you're like, well, the dog's fixating hard going on, what you want to do is I'll block. I want to, because now I've opened that gate up a little bit, just to where I need it to be. I tested the mind, right?
Bit of resistance.
Yeah. And so I want to move this way, and so now my dog is like wants to go back, right? But now I'm clear. I'm like, okay, I feel good again. I'm going to start interrupting, and I know that turning around is not a good thing, right? They're doing that because they want to, the mind's separating, they want to go towards. So now I'm like this, and I'm going to start, saying I own. Now I might turn around again, and then I'll turn around again for a brief moment to open that gate up again a little bit, and then I would shut it down again.
Yeah.
So this exercise, what you're doing is just a lot of back and forth. It's meant to build up your confidence. Because confidence is authority. Okay, if you're a confident person, you're building up that framework whether you realize it or not. You're feeling good. Because these exercises are meant to make you feel good. They're meant to inspire you, be confident, get to that level like Dan we're talking about. You're right, breakthrough moments. And like I said, getting back, I started to lose my thought here. I had my breakthrough moment after about 5 years in police work. It all finally wow, now this makes sense. I knew it. But I'll tell you, there's a lot to this. I mean, there's some deception, there's some twists and turns in this. But I had to step back and look at the personality. I had to look at this connection issue because you'll get caught up in devices and all this other stuff or psychology. You got to get to the level where you're able to step back and then look at that person. Okay, trust me. It's all about confidence. Okay, it's all about authority. And you're all doing really well. We're all, everyone's at a certain level here. But I talk to everyone here. I'm very confident that everyone here has just chipping away a little bit every time. And that's great. And that is what will happen. The more you're willing to kind of go through this like we're doing, you will have a breakthrough moment. Okay, it will come. It'll be that, because what happens is okay, you have that, I got it. And then it's great, because then you really start to push yourself.
It's just a natural part of us and a natural reaction instead of a...
That's right, and you're pushing your dog. That's the thing about this, you got to trust what I'm saying, but you're pushing your dog a little bit. You got to be willing to push it a little bit. You have to be willing to, it's about overcoming. So don't try to avoid situations. You want to have a little, even when I'm not here this week, you should be coming in here on your own or whatever, playing off each other, putting the stuff, methodology in the practice. And there's nothing, when you get to a point where letting your dogs go, they're interacting, you can interrupt that a little bit. But the great news is once you get to a level here where you've created the foundation, it's cement, you've established your role, then the whole goal is to get off leash. And that's the next levels here are off leash levels. And that's when you really start to say, come in. The leash is the way to do that. It's a communication line. You understand the dog is up here. They don't really see the leash. They see where the mind's going. Okay, they haven't flow the mind. But you have to push that level with your dog. Does that make sense to everybody? This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. But yeah, so everyone keeps working a little bit. Keep talking to the here right now. Very good, Sally. Yeah, good. And that's the thing too. You see Sally's dog's going, as soon as you get to a point where you want to touch, that's important, but you'll start to see as you touch and push, the dog will go right in. That's when you know that you'll see your dog start to take hold. So you can hear flex a little bit, Sally. Just flex a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta, so therefore you'll be a little more proactive. She's trying to buffer you a little bit. So you want to make sure, this is the thing, sometimes the dog, this is the thing about a breakthrough moment, sometimes the dog there's like an edge there where they know that they're really getting a sense of whether you're truly changing or not. And what they'll do is try to buffer a little bit. It's like a force field. They don't want that authority going through the mind. Sometimes pushing on the back and not getting too aggressive, but you need to be pushing hard enough that it's a bit, okay? It's like, an awareness level. So when you do this, if you feel like the mind's not coming in, you're not doing it effectively and not close up in here and how you're pushing, there should be a sense the mind is coming in. Okay, so if you're doing this technique and they're kind of still going, move a little bit, try to work that, heat that mind up a little bit so you're getting through to the, you're penetrating. You need to penetrate the mind here. And so that's coming through, and that's the thing, it's hard to get this, but authority is to create calm. It's reverse psychology with dogs. It goes against how we want to think about our dogs, but that's the connection issue here. It's like dogs are nature driven, so it's got to be authoritative. It's got to be parental influence.
I've never seen him just in the middle of a class just sitting.
It could be it's context. So for example, Scooter, because if you really establish a good level of influence, and this is the thing, this is the tricky part of this, you have to know the context. If you look at a dog and they're going down there relaxed, but the other bad thing is if you're in a authoritative state and they're going down, you got to figure out which it is, the good or the bad, and they're tired. They're maybe trying to convey authority. You got to start to identify which it is. But how you can tell which it is, you start to put the mind under influence, and they start to really balance out, and then they go down like Scooter. That's the good one. Okay, you can tell Scooter is just balanced and everything because when Dan will step forward and lift Scooter up, if he just comes up and rises up and then it's the good one. And Scooter's really balancing out very well. So, but you have to understand context is very important. Don't ever assume because the dog goes on their back, okay, because you see it or goes a certain way, that is submissive. It's not always. Yeah, they'll do it.
Back and she's not really doing it.
No, dogs will want to stop it. Because you have to key up on where is your mind at while that happens. If it's in the new you mode, okay, then you know they're trying to take the path. And the problem is dogs will take that path, especially if we invest in that the wrong way. We start saying, oh, okay, what's wrong? Okay, they're going to do 1,000. Because they're saying, well, this works.
But she'll even do it with her voice.
Yeah.
If she has it, she'll get on her back and she'll, but I know
it's not.
It
is. What you want to do is lock in. You'll see the technique in my book. What I do is I'll bring some authority through the leash and I'll lock in so they're getting it here. It's uncomfortable. It's not meant to hurt them. But it's meant to prepare and get their mind out. So if a dog ever goes on their back, create some distance. Don't get near them and touching them and stuff. Create about that much length in the leash. Keep some authority coming through. And what I'm doing is I'm finding the sweet spot. Like I'll get them real light and they'll rise up. Like Lazarus coming from the dead. They'll come up because and then they'll stop that though too. Because what you're doing is they're assessing their psychology, saying, well, Dale's just forward. I'm not getting anything from this. I know what it is, so I'm not investing any sort of emotion into it. I'm just saying you're going. And so, but I'm not dragging them either. That's just a good technique of what you're doing. It's almost on the edge of dragging. This ever happens? If you want to keep it uncomfortable, there and they'll come on. It's a great technique because it's not aggressive. But if you're trying to drag, what's the point? I mean, this is about doing it smart. Okay, we're doing this in a way that's really, we're still always at that mind. So even if your dog's freaking out, if you see a dog freaking out, what I'll do is I'm just like a keto, it's like the martial art. I'm using their own energy against them to work into another moment of them. So what I'm doing is letting them express that kind of, so I'm not getting bitten, right? I'm just keeping it away from me, and I'm seeing how the mind's going, then I'm back into another moment. So when you do this technique, you should never, if you're doing it right, or whatever you should never get bitten. That's why I won't even take certain dogs right away, because I'll assess it and I'll say, should I just, sell psychology? If your dog's holding power, if that dog's holding power in a certain owner, that's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Originally, because I want to change it, but it's all first the dogs are aware of personality types. So if you ever see someone getting bit, think about psychology, what is ebbing and flowing. Ultimately, the goal is to change it, but that's what's going on. Everyone's doing great. Doing all right? Yeah, well, part of it is, I can tell the way you're holding your dog over there and everything. Okay, that's shaking. You see shaking behavior from dogs. A lot of times, don't invest a lot of it's dominant. You see dogs start to shake. We saw Barney shaking for a second or two. This is one of the things that's really tricky because think about where our psychology is at and how we think about our dogs, right? What happens, any sort of reaction like a shakiness or whatever, it's a stress reaction coming through the influence part. It's still dominant. So that's shakiness, but to us it'll look like here, I'll do if the dog starts to do that, I'll start watching. See that? What I'll do is I'm going to try to hold the leash out of the mouth. I'll work on creating these moments. Yeah, but you have to just keep interrupting. You have to put influence over the dog. So, for example, you can't, they'll play their game. Like, the thing is, if a dog's doing something, I'm not playing their game, I'm playing my game. You understand? Like, don't feed into that. Like, even here, dogs start, that's a spill. That's a sign the dog is getting a lot of power. So that's why they grab onto the leash, because whatever is supposed to do, and that state of mind is to spill over onto that. So what you want to do is don't try to haul out of the back. This is kind of cool, because if a dog's holding a ball, and they're not wanting to release it to you, don't take it out of their mouth. Push on their back, like this, and push. You'll see their mouth starts to open. It's cool because you'll see that the influence affects the state of mind. You see the ball drop out of their mouth. Now, depending on how much power they're holding overall, it could take a while as you're pushing. You have to push, you flex and push. But eventually that mouth will open and the ball will drop. That's very interesting, because it'll give you a good glimpse into how this is working to affect the mind. Okay? But try that technique this week, next couple of weeks. That's with the ball scenario. As soon as you got the ball in, just push, the ball drops, I'll pick it up and I'll throw it again, right? But push on the back. Or if the dog has grabbed the sock or done something, you want to create a little separation. You want to make sure your psychologist, you put the dog like this, you poke your fingers in, push on the back. That sock will come out of that mouth, okay? And you want to do that. So the dog has hold of something, and what you're doing is you're putting influence over that item. You're saying, I own it. But what you're doing is you're not taking that object, but then if you're trying to take it up the mouth, you're going to wind up with the hole, right? Because they're into it, you're upset. What you want to do is clear your mind out, take a hold of their collar, push on the back, like this, and keep pushing, the dog will release. But I come over the shoulder, what I'm doing is, you see the dog is focused on me. Same technique. I come over, as I'm pushing here, I'm still pushing. That's right, you keep flexing here. And where I'm pushing, right here, I'm putting it there, and see the mind is into me. The head's kind of sideways here a little bit. But I'm still pushing now. Here I'm pushing a little more, but when you push, don't rubber it, just kind of push. Then I'll move in a little bit more. See that? I'm doing it. For me, the dog truly is my own, but I'm surrounding, I'm extending almost like a force field around here. I'm putting influence there. I'm surrounding my pack energy here. So I'm keeping that state of mind there. I'm proactive in this. Okay, I'm not just letting it work it out. I'm working it out. Okay, that's the difference here. I'm saying my own. And then I might see that I'm not scared thing or anything like that. The influence is taking hold, and so it becomes a normal thing. This is how the mind is governed. So again, I'll pressure the mind a little bit again. Push, positive experience. This is great. This is what we want. But see, I did that. But soon I lift it up a little bit. But again, there you go. If you work on it that way, you gotta do it that way, frame it up that way. It'll work out really well. But you gotta push like that. You gotta be part of you take it really serious, and you're surrounding with that energy. So that's a good example, because when someone's telling me anything, I just remove it out of my mind. Any dog owner says, well, Dale, I'll listen to it, but I know the solution. In fact, I'll get people away from me if I think they're throwing weak energy my way, because I'll get bit. I remove all the different dynamics that's going to prevent me from reaching my goals. Walk away, but in a good way. If you ever feel somebody doesn't quite get this, or you see it, but they don't see it, in a good way, don't create an incident. You just want to get away from them a little bit, or focus on putting authority. Make sure you put influence on your dog. Make sure you're doing the right thing. And that's going to help to de-escalate everything. Because if you're not doing what you need to do, you get bad energy into the situation, because your dog's going to use that person, not in a bad way, but I'll use that situation to help me. So it turns into a positive experience. That's what matters. And then, yeah, you're right. You want to get away from them a little bit, but not judgmental or anything like that. You know, because it takes a while. This is really difficult stuff. People are invested in how they think, and they can think they have the best dog on the planet. But you know better. You know, you're like, no, they don't. But I'm not gonna. You know, the whole thing here, my whole thing is to help people, and they have to bottom out in their own thinking first before that can happen, because there is a lot of delusion in this stuff. So yeah, you just want to back up, you know, whatever, say, you know, whatever, and then start to move away, make my excuses, you know, got our suppers on, left in the oven, or whatever. But yeah, you want to try to turn everything into a positive experience, and to help you, ultimately, is you're going to focus on your relationship with your dog, because that's what is really important to matter. So try to frame it up like that if you can, and really what'll happen too is people will look at you and say, wow, she's got a really balanced dog. I wonder how, you know, and people will start asking questions, and you can lead them into helping them too. So things can have a way of working out, but you have to kind of understand it is difficult for people, because people really invest in a certain way of thinking with their dog, Sally, and once they're just like this. You know, so you help those you can help. And very good. Lots out there. You got the course? If you push on her back when she's doing it, that'll go away. Okay, go again. It's tough stuff, but if you sit out shaking, push. No. What is it? Okay. I mean, no, push. Hey, we say dial. Clarity, and I'm going to go away. It's amazing. But the problem with that is trap stuff. Okay, where it sends us into this loop. We can't get out of it. So, but yeah, you got to invest the other way. Okay, great job. Well, okay, very good. We'll go back there. I got some certificates to hand out. I apologize. I didn't get it.